Hi, I'm Laura Borland, host of Gladverse TV. I am so excited to be sharing a second season of this show. Last season was about bouncing back. This season is about giving back. And I have 13 of the most extraordinary women telling compelling stories of why they give. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Gladverse TV, where the silver lining is always our North Star. In this new season, we're focusing on giving back. I want to know what propels individuals to take charge and fix a problem that's affecting so many people. Today's guest is Marisa Sellman, who created the Marketplace 10 years ago. The Marketplace is a nonprofit that partners with over 100 ministries from 30 countries. She sells products that are handmade that empower artisans so they're able to provide for their families. It has resonated with so many people because she's an ordinary person who stepped out in faith, and despite all the odds, the Marketplace continues to thrive. I am delighted to have you here, Marisa. I can't wait to hear your story. Please tell me all about the Marketplace and why that became like a passion of yours.
Oh my gosh. I grew up in a military family and lived overseas, so I saw poverty firsthand. Then, as years progressed, I went to the University of Florida, got a finance degree, and I thought, what am I going to do? So I started in the corporate world and eventually ended up at a church, a large church. And as I was moving through my career, I noticed that missionaries were going out on the field. They saw people who had needs. They created businesses, and missionaries will tell you they are not business people. So what I do is I link hands with the missionaries who are already doing the work, and together we take it to the next level.
I love that. There's a big part of my ethos. There was an app I created called Village, and one of the big things about it was basically creating these micro franchise opportunities for people where they could monetize their home. And the big part of that is that I wanted people to feel empowered, not enabled.
Correct.
And the whole idea is create a business. It to me, it's a much more lasting impact than, let's say, just having a job.
Yeah.
And so I love what you're doing in terms of acting as that, that central, that brokering point, with what the missionaries are doing, what people are doing on the ground, allowing them to earn, right? Having a platform with which to sell, in which they can affect their livelihoods. I love all of it. So you've been doing this for 10 years.
10 years.
What has been the most, there are moments when you're proud. What has been that moment, just that one moment where you just went, oh my gosh, this is amazing?
Well, there's so many crazy stories in the Marketplace. But one of my favorite ones is I was heading into a new year. This was 2019. And I felt God say, I want you to rescue a woman from trafficking. And I thought, what does that even mean? And I just started asking some of our groups who work with women rescued from trafficking. And they said, well, for $4,101, we can rescue a woman from trafficking in Bangkok, Thailand. And I thought, well, what is this? What does this even entail? And they said, well, she leaves the red light district. We pay her a salary for the entire year. We give her training. We scholarship her kids to go to school, and she gets medical. And I thought, okay. And I thought, okay, I'm going to ask my community, because at this point we were probably 7 years into it. And I thought, well, I don't know, are they going to do this? I don't know what they're going to do, because we're set up as a nonprofit. So I shared the story, and when you put it out on social, everybody sees. You're taking this big leap of faith, and nobody might do anything. So one day in the store, a customer comes in. She says, I read your newsletter, and I'm going to buy something, and I was wondering, can I write a check to this? We called it the One Woman Campaign. And I said, sure. She came in with her checkbook, and she wrote a check for one woman. What? And I about fell out. And I went around the counter and I just started crying. And she hugged me and she said, I wanted to let you know, while you were believing God for one and wanting another one, I wanted to do the one. And that year we raised over $40,000 and 8 women. So in 2019, I went to Bangkok, Thailand in January, met the 8 ladies. And what I loved was people said this wasn't, you weren't going to be able to be sustainable and have this store. And I said, no, I believe I will, because for me, I don't own it. We're a nonprofit and we're owned by everybody. And all of our customers have come in and have walked alongside and are a huge part. I mean, I'm not a fundraiser. All God said is, I just want you to share the story. If you share the story, I learned early on, Americans have this incredible heart to give, but sometimes they don't know where to give, or they don't know who to trust. And so we have built this community where people trust, and we have done crazy things. We've raised money for our artisans in India when the Delta variant hit. We've raised money for coffee seedlings after the earthquake in Haiti. We've finished a rescue house for girls rescued from trafficking between the ages of 9 and 14 in Ecuador. We did the Empowerment Project in Rwanda, helping women who've left the sex trade, and now they have a business. So it's just been story after story. $12,000 for a generator in Haiti. Our customers are absolutely amazing, and that's the whole thing. It's a group of people who totally catch the vision, and not only are they purchasing products and giving our products as gifts, but they're also donating funds. So for me, I'm nothing but the connector. All I do is I connect the customer with the artisan, and together they come together, and it makes a big deal, because I think sometimes people think charity is the best way to do it, but I disagree, because people want to work. You want to work, and by working you build dignity. And that's what I love about the marketplace. It gives people the opportunity to provide for themselves.
I love that too. I'm a big proponent of this idea of dignity and restoring dignity for persons who have had, challenges, right? So for instance, here's some woman in Thailand who society tends to look down on sexual workers, right?
Yeah.
But what a transformative movement to get rid of that fear of not being able to provide for yourself. If we remove you from this place, right? Have an opportunity for you to be upskilled, to learn something else, to try something different, more mainstream, right? And then at the same time, restoring that dignity to that woman, and
giving her hope.
I love that. Yeah. I love anything that looks at life and just says, you're able to overcome this, right? A big part of my season, the first season I did, was about bouncing back. And I had so many different types of people bouncing back from different types of adversities. And this reminds me so much of that, Marisa, but with a little bit more punch, in the sense that you might only look at yourself as like, the connector of sorts, but that connection comes with a great degree of positive energy and of love and of compassion and of empathy and of feeling that I see you, you're seen.
Yeah.
And I think people want visibility so much in their lives these days, to be seen and to be understood and to be felt, and not to be looked down upon. So I'm really excited about just everything that you just shared, the stories. And I guess because you are a spiritual woman, you're a praying woman, that there are times, you get that voice.
Oh yeah.
That leads you to a direction where you're just like, what am I supposed to do with that? Right?
Right.
How often does that happen?
Oh my gosh, a lot. I mean, I always say, for me to go out of the country to different organizations where I work hands-on, I've been in brothels, I've been in the red light district, I've walked with those who have leprosy, I've sat and listened to stories of people who have been trafficked. You have to have the covering to go out. I travel alone, and I mean, there are times where I was in Bolivia and I thought, I really don't want to go in this brothel, Lord. And God's like, you're going to go and you're going to be fine. And to be a woman and to be the 3 women who are not being, paid to do things It's a little scary, but every time it's always been a crazy, crazy adventure. I've even took a trip around the world where I went 26,000 miles in 23 days. I took 10 flights. I went to Kenya, India, Thailand, Cambodia, and did a full revolution of the globe. And the next day I landed. And at the time, this was only a portion of my job, not even really a portion of my job. I was back to work the next day. Never got sick, never lost my luggage, and had the craziest adventure of my life. So when people tell me, you know, they have to be thrill seekers and they want to jump out of an airplane or bungee jump, I'm like, follow the Lord and he will take you to the craziest places, doing the craziest things. So it's been a crazy adventure. I've gotten to meet so many amazing people, and they think that I'm the one teaching them. Honestly, I learn from them. There's so much that I'm a richer person for the fact that I've met them.
Of course. Yeah. And it's crazy. You know, it's the whole idea of what we do to the least of our brothers, right?
Yeah.
And that spiritual awakening of not just never looking down on those who are in a bad place, right? God resides in all of us. And so it's seeing God in them. And
it really is. It's funny that you should say that people want to be seen, because when I was in the brothel, I heard so clearly, it was, let her know that I see her. I'm the God who sees. And I mean, just telling them that was so overwhelming for them. But I know that whenever I travel abroad and I always come home, I always hear this one scripture in my head: for those who've been given much, much will be expected.
Yeah.
And I know that I've been blessed with so much that this is just what I do.
I love it.
And I love what I do. And I love the people that I've gotten to meet along the way.
You know, everything about what you're saying just makes sense to me and just resonates. Just this whole ethos of, again, being God-centered, and understanding that life is unfolding and we never know what this journey is going to take us through, right? The people we're supposed to meet and how impactful those voices are to us, right? We have meeting you today. I was supposed to learn something, and I have. And I'm so honored to just like be in this space with you, because I know that you have a giver's heart. And I find myself in recent years just wanting to find people who are aligned in that space with me, because frankly, I would venture to guess that 95% of the world are takers. And if they can take, they will, right? But people who have giving spirits like you, right? Who just, you see a need, you feel people, you see them, you act, which to me is like the biggest part of it. A lot of us see things and we want to help, but somehow we become almost like in a state of inertia, right? Frightened to move, overwhelmed to move. But you're just like, what? Bring it on. This Let me take this one on. I absolutely love that. And just any word of advice that you would provide our audience with, let's say, how they can, get out of that state of inertia to get into that spirit of giving. Oh,
wow. I would say it starts with prayer. It's taking the time every morning. I'm very mindful. Every morning I sit with my cup of coffee, my journal, and my Bible. And that's how, if I go back, I've got this huge, multiple bins of all these old journals. Yeah. And when I go back and look at all my old journals, I see God's hand along the way. He didn't tell me this is where you're going to be 10 years from now. He gave me just one step. People always want to have the whole big picture, but God's not going to give you the whole big picture. He's going to give you one step. All he asks is for a yes. You step in through the door, then you do what you're supposed to do, and then there'll be another door. And he'll open that door and you just keep walking. In 10 years, I never would have imagined that I'd be traveling around the world, that I would be designing products, that I would be able to connect so many people together, people told me this was going to fail. You're not going to make a year. And here we are 10 years later, no support from anyone. We're our own nonprofit. So just for me, listen to the one voice and forget the rest, because everybody else is going to show you their fear. You don't need their fear, because you know the God who is. And he's the one who created you, and he's going to show you where you need to be and what you need to do and what he created for you.
Listen to the one voice.
The one voice.
That is powerful stuff. And I really appreciate what you said just now about the whole idea of tuning out everybody else, you know, making sure that what you're doing is aligned, and get rid of the naysayers.
Yeah,
right?
God didn't give this dream to just anybody. He gave it to you. So you just need to listen, and he's going to give you all the pieces. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's never going to be what you think it is. It's never going to look like.
I have boxes and boxes of journals. I've been doing it for a long time. I actually created some journals too that, help people with bereavement and different types of stuff. But I have not gone back to read them.
Oh my gosh.
I know. I'm terrified.
I think a journal, it's so amazing, because a journal will take you right back to where you were at that moment. As you're writing and you're like, Lord, I just don't understand what you want me to do with all this information. And then years later, you're like, I can tell you what he wanted you to do now. But at the time you didn't.
So you're giving me a new assignment, right? I literally just moved all of my journals into one place because I had so many. And I'm just like, Laura, throughout the years, you've written down dreams that you had, or ideas you had for businesses, or, just all different plans of action. I've written all kinds of stuff in my journals. And throughout the years, I never did. I just write them. And then once they're done, I kind of put them away. But you have given me
no. Every so often, pull a journal out, and then you'll see how you thought it was supposed to be, but where it is today, and how he has been slowly taking the pieces and putting it to make it what it is today.
Good stuff. I want to thank you so much, Marisa. This has been one of those life-changing 15 minutes of my life. So thank you for you. Thank you for how you have chosen to navigate the world. And to give your voice for good. So thank you. I appreciate you, and I would want to have you back at some point. So let's do that.
Wonderful.
I would
love to.
Take care.
Bye.